We are now in round 3 of the blue tournament, and in this round it's going to be a best of 3 series. So the first player who gets 2 victories is going to win. First up is Greek Iraklis versus Wingman. Wingman is commanding Arverni and Iraklis is commanding the Boii. The Boii should have a comfortable advantage over Arverni, both in terms of mid-tier, well, mostly in terms of mid-tier swords. The sword followers are vastly superior to the chosen swords of Arverni. For Iraklis, we have 4 heavy horse, 1 Celtic bow, a total of 6 levy free, which I quite like. Then he has 6 sword followers, and to Oathsorn, his general is a strategist. For Arverni, we have 2 levy freemen. We have 3 Oathsorn and 5 chosen, because there's a 5 sword unit max in the blue tournament. The general is a strategist as well. People often use Vercingetorix as Arverni because he's going to allow multiple units to get an increase in attack instead of just buffing up the one general unit. But buffing up the one general unit is very nice as well. Then we have 4 light horse and 1 Celtic youths, it looks like, perhaps for general sniping. So the way that looks like Wingman is using his arrow keys here to reorient his lines, which is a very nice way of doing it. Then you can move your entire formation sideways without having to reorient a lot. A very fast and efficient way of doing it. Now, in terms of deployment, in a straight up engagement, Arverni isn't going to do too well because the chosen are going to get defeated. Even though there is an Oathsorn advantage on the field for Wingman, the Oathsorn aren't going to like much when the chosen swords are defeated and the chosen swords get surrounded. But the way Iraklis has deployed his units here, he doesn't really need to be afraid of these light horse units. If they rush in and try to blunt the charges of these units, it might actually be good for Iraklis, because they're going to get absolutely destroyed by heavy horse, levy freemen and sword followers. And it looks like the engagement is going to start happening. Celtic bows moving up to start a bit of skirmishing, and we have 1 Gallic hunter, maybe we have 2 Gallic hunters actually, and some Celtic youth. So at this point Iraklis probably wants to start engaging because he does not want to take a lot of fire from these Gallic hunters. So general advance here being ordered by Iraklis. He's actually going to send in his sword follower. Well, let's see what happens here. He's going to send in one sword follower against the levy freeman here. That is going to get countercharged by chosen swords, and that's not going to be good. Wingman doing a very nice job in blunting the charges of Iraklis here, but Iraklis is going to get some good charges off on his own. He is, however, not going to blunt the charges of the Oathsorn, so that might be massive. Neither of the players choose to use their cavalry in a frontal charging role. That makes sense from Greek Iraklis' standpoint. He's going to stand in his Oathsorn here against the Chosen, and you can see the Chosen are not doing super well against the sword followers. Let's see if there are any shield wall bugs in place, because now both players are going to be activating their shield walls, and no shield wall bug. The Celtic bows are actually doing quite a lot of damage to the Gallic hunters. Heavy horse moving around the edges. They really need to be supported against these levy freemen, because heavy horse is not going to like fighting both light horse and levy freemen, but they are getting a decent charge. In the center here, sword followers losing against Oathsorn, no surprise there. The chosen swords are losing against sword followers, no surprise there. But Iraklis really needs to get out his heavy horse from this engagement. He's going to be able to absolutely wreck the light horse, but these levy freemen might do a lot of damage here. And now we have some general on general action in the center. We have both battle rhythm headhunt being popped by the Oathsorn general of Iraklis, but he's taking so much damage from these skirmishers. And these cavalry units, they need to start taking out these skirmishers, because these skirmishers could actually manage to snipe the general of Iraklis. Levy freemen being charged by levy freemen and heavy horse, and now the cavalry of Arverni is off the field, and these levy freemen are actually starting to lose against the heavy horse units. Greek Iraklis has used his put his levy freeman in a supporting role, and doing that has allowed them to do a lot of damage by javelin alone. So most of the Arverni units are losing now. The light horse against heavy horse. I don't know why you would ever pick light horse over heavy horse. Light horse is just such an underwhelming unit against the barbarian sword rush. Celtic youths being charged here, so now they're not being able to snipe at the Oathstone general of Iraklis. He's managed to create some breathing space for himself. Very nice kills on the Celtic bows there. Here we have Heavy Horse being wrecked by Gallic Hunters and Levy Freeman, but there are so many Heavy Horse units moving around after having defeated Levy Freeman and Light Horse. So it went as predicted. All of the chosen swords are being defeated by sword followers. The Oathsworn are holding out. All of the three Oathsworn units are holding out. Iraklis needs to be a bit careful because he is about to lose his general here, and the general of Wingman is fine. But in the center here, Levy Freeman are going to get charged by Levy Freeman and Heavy Horse from all sides. So I would be very, very surprised if these three Oathsworn units are able to hold out against everything that's stacked up against them here, because they are Levy Freeman holding out here against the Oathsworn, while these Celtic bows are pouring fire into the Oathsworn. The Oathsworn are going to pull out of that engagement and go in there, but now the Oathsworn are just getting swamped on all sides. And this is the problem with Boii against Arverni. The general of Iraklis just survived there. The problem with Boii against Arverni is that on the mainline engagements, Boii is going to win that engagement unless there are cavalry units available to stop the very dangerous charges of the sword followers. But look at what the light horse did for Wingman, and now look at what the heavy horse did for Iraklis. The heavy horse for Iraklis is getting more than, let's see here, we have 300, 450, so we have 570 kills, about 570 kills for the heavy horse. Well, these guys, they just stopped, got stopped and charged. I like the idea with the Gallic Hunters to snipe generals and such, but they just weren't able to do enough damage, almost, but they got chased away by a heavy horse. And look at the performance of the chosen swords compared to the performance of the sword followers. Even though Wingman did a nice job in stopping a few of the charges, I think Arverni just needs heavy horse, and Arverni needs to play significantly better than Boii in order to win. It's that simple. When you are outmatched in terms of the most important infantry unit you have, and you don't have an advantage in cavalry, and the skirmishing advantage is marginal, then you're just going to have to play a lot better than your opponents. And against an opponent like Greek Iraklis, that's not going to be easy. So Greek Iraklis is up 1-0. We'll see what happens in the next battle. Strength and honor.